Are you curious about the controversial idea of chosenness in Judaism? Dive into the ancient texts, shocking interpretations, and the bold opinions of Jewish scholars that challenge everything you thought you knew about monotheism and divine selection. Welcome to our deep dive into the concept of chosenness in Judaism. Today, we're exploring how Jewish scholars interpret this idea, its roots in monotheism, and the debates it sparks. From ancient texts to modern philosophy, we'll uncover the layers of this fascinating topic. The idea of chosenness is tied to Jewish monotheism, but it's not as simple as it seems. In 1 Kings chapter 18, Prophet Elijah challenges the worship of the idol Baal. God's power triumphs, and Israel reaffirms its faith. But in chapter 19, Elijah laments that the people have forsaken God's covenant, torn down altars, and killed prophets. This suggests they weren't always monotheistic. If chosenness depends on monotheism, did they lose it by straying? Some Jewish interpretations went further, claiming chosenness is genetic. They argued Jews descend from Adam and Eve, while non-Jews come from Satan or Lilith, a female demon. This even targeted prophets like Jesus, whose lineage from Moabites and Ammonites was used to argue he couldn't enter God's assembly, per Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 3. These ideas, some say, were crafted to undermine Christianity. In 332 before the Christian era, Alexander the Great's conquest brought Hellenism, Greek culture, and philosophy to Judah. Many Jews, including Cohens, embraced Greek ideas, trying to prove their religion through philosophy. But a group called the Hasidim, or the pious, resisted. They doubled down on chosenness to protect Judaism from Greek influence, emphasizing their unique identity. Let's explore 4 key interpretations of chosenness. Firstly, acquired chosenness. The Talmud claims the Torah was offered to all nations, but only Israel accepted it. Encyclopedia Judaica says other nations rejected it because it clashed with their sinful lives. Jews argue this choice proves their devotion, but critics ask, why was the Torah delayed until Moses? Here is the response. Earlier generations, like Adam and Eve, couldn't obey even one command. Secondly, moral superiority. Jews believe choosing the one God made them morally superior. George Arthur Buttrick cites the Talmud, saying Israel chose God, so God chose them. Yet their repeated disobedience to the 10 Commandments raises questions about this claim. Thirdly, divine mystery. Some, like Martin Luther, see chosenness as unquestionable. He called Jews God's children and others guests. Martin Buber argued God chose Israel eternally, despite their flaws, as seen in Exodus chapter 4, verse 24, where Israel is called God's firstborn. Fourthly, religious duty. Amos chapter 3, verses 1 and 2 frames chosenness as a responsibility, not a privilege. God punishes Israel for their sins because they're chosen, holding them to a higher standard. Philo of Alexandria saw Jews as Cohens, serving humanity, spreading divine laws like the Sabbath, which influenced other nations. But Muslims argue God gave similar commands to all faiths. Spinoza, however, rejected chosenness, saying it was about governance, not wisdom. He argued true happiness comes from universal knowledge, not exclusive privileges. Moses Mendelssohn and Hermann Cohen also opposed chosenness, promoting universal ethics through the Noahide laws. Kaufmann Kohler viewed chosenness as moral progress, adaptable to modern ideals. Rabbi Kaplan called chosenness an outdated illusion, urging Jews to share universal values instead. Martin Buber defined being God's people as reflecting justice and love, while Rabbi Hirsch saw the Messianic era as a time for all nations to unite under one God. The concept of chosenness is complex, rooted in monotheism, shaped by history, and debated by scholars. From divine mystery to moral duty, it sparked both pride and controversy.